Hello everybody and welcome back to Total War Warhammer, where we are going to be taking a look at the last of the available quote-unquote tutorial introductions for the main factions in the campaign, and that is the Vampire Counts. Life is a cancer, but I have the cure. Death everlasting. Long ago, Queen Neferata Neferta, I don't know, stole the secrets of eternal life from Nagash. The elixir she created was flawed, bestowing immortality, but at great cost. And so the vampires were created, and they have been a plague upon the living ever since. Millennia later, and the darkling figure of Vlad von Karstein arrived in Sylvania, a backwater region within the Sterling. This is how they talk. Within the Sterling province of the Empire. At least Vlad does. That's how Vlad talks. Of course, because his name is Vlad. That's why wouldn't he talk like that? In the Sterling province of the Empire. Soon the whole of Sylvania's destitute nobility was in his thrall. The von Karstein bloodline was born. For years, the vampire counts of Sylvania kept their undying existence a deathly secret. The regent's pathetic peasants and the neighboring lords had their suspicions, but nothing was proven until Vlad revealed himself in full lifeless glory at the head of an undead host. His desire was nothing more than the throne of the Empire. Vlad was slain at the siege of Altdorf. The undead army withered, and his vampire sires fled back to Sylvania, which was known to be a cursed land, tainted by perpetual death forevermore. Whilst Vlad's bid for a vast undead empire failed, he did start a pattern that would repeat itself several times over the coming centuries. Von Karstein would take the reins of power within Sylvania, and inevitably strike out against the living at the head of an unliving army. Power-hungry necromancers, zombie hordes, ranks of skeletons, tomb-skulking crypt ghouls, and bestial vargulfs are just some of the nightmares that a vampire lord can summon to his indomitable will. Vlad may have been the first of the von Karstein line, but Manfred was equally feared. He also came close to despoiling the Empire, being finally brought to bay at Helfen and slain. But what is no longer living is never easy to kill. Both Vlad and Manfred have risen again. The dead have never rested easily in Sylvania, and now they lurch from their graves, summoned to unlife by the midnight aristocracy as each prepares to challenge mankind once more. Both believe they are the rightful eternal emperor. The usurper, Karl Franz, will learn this at great cost, and all the living will pay tribute to the von Karstein's unholy majesty. Their playstyle is that they can only capture territory that belongs to other vampire count factions or other human factions except for the Norska. They have the ability called Raise Dead. New units can be raised from the dead in a province. Famous battle sites provide bonuses to the quantity and quality of options available, and this makes it where you don't have to wait a turn or more for them to be added to your army. They just are instantly added to your army. Usually by default, it'll just be like a couple of skeleton or zombie units, which are not very good, but if you're lucky and there's been a battle or something, usually you'll have other better units to raise, and that can quickly help out your armies. Very quickly. Corruption. Vampiric corruption can spread into enemy territory, leading to public order problems and even vampiric rebellions, which is something that can also help you out in terms of moving across the map, as you will start to suffer attrition if you move into areas that are not tainted by vampiric corruption. So you kind of need to spread it in order to be able to move your enemies, your armies about. Once you capture a settlement, you should be able to be fine to walk around because that's now considered vampiric territory. Strong battle magic options, including raising of new units from the dead. Yeah, they will usually have those kinds of options. Units cause fear, impacting enemy leadership. I mean, why not? They see an army of undead coming, of course they're going to be afraid. Crumbling. Instead of routing, units will suffer casualties when losing in combat. This is both a good and a bad thing. Some battle casualties are automatically raised from the dead post-battle, even in defeat. That's a cool little thing. And they don't have any missile units at all. It's all melee and monster units. Some of the top units, Hex Rays, cool like Reaper cavalry units. Terrorgeist, it's like a gigantic bat type of monster. It's awesome. And then Vargulfs. These guys are also really cool. Just big monster battering ram type of beasts. So you can see there is what we saw in the description. And I mentioned, or at least that description mentioned, that both Manfred and Vlad have rays. So if the vampire counts are the main of that faction. And this is the one that has Manfred. They added they added this as a separate thing because it used to be Vlad was also a lord that you could have in this one. But then they made this a separate thing because they added, apparently Vlad's wife, Isabella, that you could be able to control the both of them with this, the Von Karsteins, separately. Because they apparently buff each other in battle with this buff called Beloved in Death. But if you want to play as Manfred, this is the one to play. The vampire counts instead of Von Karstein. So here is Manfred, as well as Heinrich Kemmler and Helman Gorst. Before we get to Manfred, let's take a look at these two other lords, which I believe both are necromancers. Kemmler is a powerful wizard, master of the lore of vampires. Upkeep for necromancer heroes is down, has less cost for raising dead, and in battle, Kemmler can call upon Krell, a powerful hero with a unique summoning ability. This is kind of a cool little ability, but you gotta wait a while in battle before you can use it. Just summons this guy, Krell, and he'll be like, "Hi, I'm gonna fight for you now." It's pretty hilarious. He starts off with Hex Wraiths. Actually, yeah, those are cavalry. Dire Wolves and Cairn Wraiths. Scythe Infantry. Cause terror, and they are ethereal. His background. Heinrich Kemmler burns with the need for power. Having recognized the limits that mortality placed upon him in his early years, Kemmler made it in his life's work to escape them. He plunged into the world of necromancy as a young man, and by the time he had reached his 40th year, he was able to raise entire graveyards of corpses to do his bidding. Kemmler became a great and much feared necromancer, plundering every wizard's tower, an ancient temple that he could find in his search for dark truths. His star was in the ascendant for many decades until ambitious rivals united to bring him to his knees, although he finally managed to scatter his attackers with a great spell of confusion. Kemmler's body was broken and his mind blasted in the battle. For many years, Heinrich wandered as little better than a half-sane beggar. By some quirk of fate, he uncovered the tomb of a long-dead Chaos champion, whose burial mound was so magnificent it towered high above him. Here Kemmler struck a terrible pact with the gods. They restored him to his former power, and in return, Heinrich swore to slay and destroy in their name. Now the name of the Lich Master once again strikes terror into the hearts of ordinary folk. The other is Helman Gorst, who's also who is a powerful necromancer, can unlock the Brothers Gorst Corpse Cart mount. Try to say that 3 times fast. Brothers Ghost Corpse Cart. All units in Helman Gorst's army receive poison attacks, and he has a higher casualty replenishment rate, meaning the units in his army can be able to heal up a lot faster. He starts off with Grave Guards, really good armored, shielded sword infantry units, a Corpse Cart, which provides regeneration and a magical aura, and the Dire Pack, buffed up Dire Wolves. Originally the youngest of 5 strong brothers from Tempelhof, Gorst was a farrier and groom just like his father. His love of danger and the open road meant he would make any excuse to deliver messages to Ulfheim or Vassal. One day he returned from his adventures to find his brothers and father dead in their beds, taken by the ravaging plague of blue roses. Fungus bruises covered their bodies, and its spores were thick in the air. Gorst could not accept their loss. At first he tried to embrace his lost brothers, but the plague would not take him. Fate had other designs for Helman Gorst. Eventually, he plunged himself into the study of the black arts, hoping to return his brothers to life. From that moment on, Gorst was far from the good-natured farrier's son, instead being marked for a much darker destiny. In studying the black arts, he lost himself to forbidden lore and communed with dread things, driven by far more than the lust for power, but a deep personal grief. He went further than many other necromancer had previously dared. Such ambition, combined with a willful lack of self-preservation for his own soul, drew the attention of Manfred von Karstein, another driven by familial bonds, though one's far different in nature. In Gorst, Manfred found a willing puppet, a servant whose loyalty he could easily buy. In Manfred, Gorst saw a master of necromantic lore who could bring his brothers back to full unlife if he himself proved worthy. And then we have our main faction leader, Manfred von Karstein, a powerful melee fighter, leader, and wizard. He has access to both the Lore of Vampire and Lore of Death spell abilities, which the fact that he's able to be a powerful melee fighter and be able to use those spells just makes him such a strong hybrid leader general fighter. Just one of the absolute best and most balanced in the entire game. And he gets to have an awesome mount. He can have a Barded Nightmare, a Hellsteed, which is an undead Pegasus, but then he can also have a zombie dragon. Yes, he can ride a zombie dragon. That definitely makes him an awesome faction leader that gets that kind of a cool mount. Before rising to his current power, Manfred von Karstein avoided the infighting of his peers and instead traveled far and wide, seeking to deepen his knowledge of necromantic lore. He made unholy pilgrimages to ancient tombs and cities, where he wrested forbidden secrets from bone-dry scrolls made from human skin, studied ancient spells in the first of the books of the dead, and struck foul bargains with powerful long-dead beings. When Manfred finally returned to Sylvania, he was more powerful than ever, and he took over the undead legions in the wake of his insane predecessor's destruction. I guess probably referring to Vlad. Though previously he had traveled in the guise of an imperial lord, now at the height of his power, his appearance has become more horrifying. His face became contorted and corpse-like, and his scalp writhing with magical energy. Yet his newfound powers are not enough, and he thirsts forevermore as part of his designs for the imperial throne. He gets extra campaign movement range, less upkeep for Graveguard and Black Knight units, and more unit experience for Graveguard and Black Knight units. He starts off with Crypt Ghouls, which are Cudgel Infantry damage dealers, Fellbats, and a Vargulf. Very fast regeneration, armor piercing. It does have poor leadership, but man, can this thing pack a wallop. So let's take a look at the introduction for the Vampire Counts with Manfred von Karstein. And as I mentioned before, it used to be that Vlad von Karstein used to be amongst those legendary lords that you could pick for this before they added Isabella and made the von Karsteins a separate faction to play through the campaign as.
War is eternal. As inevitable as the grave. The old world, the rotting corpse within. Some fools think it worth saving. But there are beings who wish to bring about an eternal night. I am a bearer of lore to those with such power.
Don't you just love how his dialogue is different every time to justify why he's going to be the advisor of this particular faction? Whichever faction you chose. And there is Manfred.
The mighty vampire counts of the von Carstein bloodline. My master, Manfred, has returned from the dead once more. He marches on the von Carstein ancestral pile of Castle Dragonhof. For I have brought him ill news that a master necromancer has claimed the fortress as his own.
Oh, well, that
Manfred
would just not
must
stand.
retake his ancient stronghold and either destroy the usurper within or bind him to his will.
Yes.
Feeble lich, come hence from mine fortress and kneel before thy lord. Drakenhof stones are bound by mortar of mine own blood, while yours shall be sprayed across the battlefield as I wrench the head from thine shoulders.
Your forces begin their attack, my lord. See for yourself.
Another siege battle tutorial, excellent. These are the crypt horrors. They are good at attacking the gate. That's what they're doing right now. We have siege towers there. We have another White King hero over here on his skeletal steed. Look at those guys charging.
The fight yourself. The warriors will be greatly inspired by your presence.
Zombies! See, it shows that there are Grave Guard and Skeletal Spearmen in those siege towers there. So it's just right now I've got Manfred and Grave Guard. All right, let's charge! Charge in! Look at all these buffs and abilities and passives that he has. Spell, armor, melee expert, Grave Guard, armored, shielded, and anti-infantry. These guys are really good.
That help and advice is available at your request, my lord. You may rely upon it.
One of the best, like... Look at that. Oh, they're getting bombarded by that tower. Oh, no. But that's why they have shields, to help protect them, but man...
Join the fray.
Woo.
Show them that von Carstein once again stalks Sylvania.
Go, Manfred! Lead your troops into battle! Here comes the Vargul from behind. Look at that.
Attack the sides and the rear of the enemy where possible.
Here comes the
They
Vargul.
will crumble to dust if surrounded.
See if you guys can get around. See, they're crumbling.
Manfred von
The
Carstein.
enemy begin to crumble. Press home your advantage.
These
Grind
lands
them
are
to
mine.
dust.
Huh. Oh, it's showing that we could put up ladders if we wanted. But look, the Vargulf is wrecking the gate. He's really good at that.
Be sure to take charge of the forces you control. sir.
Oh, now I'm getting multiple units. I get more Grave Guards, Skeleton Spearmen, and the Vargulf. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Oh man, these Fellbats are wrecking these guys over here. But look at these other units up here. Woo-hoo-hoo! Let's get in here.
Swift as death's wings. Attack!
Get inside the gates. Get those crypt ghouls. Haven't given Manfred any abilities yet. Skeleton Spearmen are pretty good. They're shielded anti-large, but the Grave Guard are just so good. They're just so much better.
Sorcery can turn the tide of battle. Unleash your mightiest spells against
Yes,
the
I can
enemy.
use this to restore my army against a single combatant. I'll save that for when a really tough unit shows up. Those guys, they look like they're handling themselves. See this White King guy over here, he's helping take this area down over here. This one is not doing so well, but
Mortals quail.
so they're crumbling, they're done.
Will.
This is the area we got charged through. Look up, we gotta watch out for these guys. The Vargeist, those are, those can be a bit of a problem.
Your words and actions can
Empower
inspire
me.
the troops.
Yes, I'm aware. Alright, you know what?
Oh my God!
Use it on the Vargeist.
Attend me! I pass!
Attack the Vargeist.
Address
Those
me
things,
as
yeah, we
master.
cannot leave them alone. Oh, look, this guy's coming to help me out. Excellent.
The heart of the city is within sight, my lord. Press forward.
I know.
Serve me! The gift of death!
Get rid of these zombies. Make them crumble. They're crumbling. Excellent. Excellent.
Hell!
They're all crumbling. Wonderful. Oh, there he is.
Death.
Restore my spearmen here. You can see it restores them. Yeah, that's good. Get him. Get him. Charge him.
Preternatural. We surpass Nagash. Harvest them.
Alright, you know what? Fine. I thought these guys were done. No, never
By
mind.
my will.
The
With the
enemy
Vargeist.
general shows himself. Then Kruger joins the battle.
Yeah, and he's already getting attacked, but these Vargeist are right now really annoying me.
Costa.
Finish them off. There they go. They crumbled.
Hearken to my
Ooh,
will.
he's got Black Knights with him.
All life must end.
Oh, but they've already crumbled. Oh, see so when you defeat them, they crumble. Like the rest of the army just crumbles into dust.
My cure is death. Nagash was weak. Witness true power.
Everybody attack him. Get him, get him, get him.
We surpass Nagash.
He's like the only one left and that's fighting. He's also got those there, but those should crumble any second here.
Hearken
Oh,
to
it's because
my
he's
will.
he's raising them. That's why.
These lands are mine.
Gets in there and completely wrecks them. Get over here to the victory point. There we go, starting to gain control. Finish those guys off. Finish them off! How are they still not crumbling? There we go. There we go.
battle is
Ours.
won, my Lord von
There's the timer.
Carstein. The enemy servants of that pretender are driven from your castle. Victory!
The castle is mine! Tell me that kind of army isn't fun to play. Especially when you get to get some of the other units later on. Some of the other units you can get are really cool and really fun.
I thank you for your offer of immortality, sire. But I shall forego the blood kiss for now. I'm more useful to you
The
alive,
blood kiss.
for there is much to be done.
So he offered him to become immortal, and he's like, no, thank you. I'm more useful to you alive.
The Tempelhof interloper has fled back to his fortress, and Drakenhof is secure. But enemies abound on all sides.
How dare
Speak
he?
for yourself.
He retreated to another castle.
Van Kruger has retreated to Castle Tempelhof, a fortress he wrongly claims as his own. It will take some effort to wrench him out.
It will happen, and then that castle shall also be mine.
Passage to the west is blocked by the Dark Lords of Schwarzhafen, sire. They have feuded with
There's
Van
Vlad von
Kruger in the
Carstein right
past,
there.
and no doubt watch your struggle against him keenly.
That was Vlad von Carstein right there. Dwarves.
The dwarfs control the mountain passes to the south. They are no friends of your kind, and will strike out at you if allowed. Van Kruger is nothing more than a feeble lich, a necromancer that needs bringing to heel. You must advance against Tempelhof, seize his possessions, and turn the dead against their former master.
So I've got crypt ghouls, skeleton warriors, zombies, Vargul, Fellbats.
Dance macabre.
Excellent. The enemy scries your movements. The necromancer will no doubt be planning counter-maneuvers of his own. Your forces are depleted by battle, sire. Yet such a shortfall is easily solved by your kind. Raise the slain to fight at your banner. Your army must remain in place whilst raising new bodies
Definitely
to fight.
skeletons.
Soon it will be
Zombies are
swollen with
just,
the
yeah,
dead,
they're
my
only
lord.
expendable. That's it. They are not really good units to get.
Drakenhof has suffered in your absence, sire. But now von Carstein inhabits its halls once more. You can restore the castle back to its former majesty. Provide more room for the dead to rest, and you will gain more souls to
A
resurrect.
barrow.
See that the necessary... Excellent! Construction will begin immediately. Seek ways to further even your vast knowledge of the dark arts, my lord. Put your most devious minions to work on improving your methods of war.
So, the way it starts off is you gotta research these books. One focuses on the bestiary, which is like the forest chain, like the wolves, the bats. This one, the Book of the Blood, focuses on economic stuff for the campaign map, like income, growth, public order. Liber Necromancy, Necronomica. This focuses on the crypt wraith type of units. And then the Book of Archon focuses on the zombies and skeletons. You just want to... I just like getting each of these out of the way before actually researching something, so we'll do that one.
Good. In time. My lord, there is nothing more you can do now. Let us await your enemy's next move.
Alright, so that is the campaign intro for the Vampire Counts, the last of the 4 quote-unquote tutorial intros for the campaign. there are other cinematics with the advisor and the other factions, but there aren't really any intros. You just go ahead and start things off. Because keep in mind, these were the 4 original factions in the game, except for the Warriors of Chaos, which were day 1 DLC, but you got for free if you pre-ordered, blah, 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 blah. But there was no tutorial intro added for them, which I think probably could have helped, but whatever. There are other more straight-up basic tutorials in the next entry of the game, next entry in the series, Warhammer 2, like even more so than this one. But we may cross that bridge when we get to it. You know, if you guys want me to show you guys what those are like for each of those other 4 different factions that they have in that game, let me know. And you may possibly see some more content from Total War Warhammer here on the channel. You know, possibly even playthroughs, though I will let you know that those may be a struggle. Remember, guys, I am a still relatively new novice player. I'm enjoying it, but that doesn't mean I'm dominating or anything. I'm not exactly ready to play this on Legendary or anything, like other people have. I just got into this franchise, so I'm still learning things, but I'm still having a blast. Even though at times it can be frustrating. But that's just part of my learning process, is trying to figure out how this works. You know, you might possibly see some more content from this franchise, and I will see you guys then.